What is, truly, the root of all evil? Obsession. Be it for someone or something. Obsession can make you do crazy, unspeakable, evil shit that you wouldn't otherwise do. The obsession with money, power, a person. It can drive you to the edge. Country leaders starting wars and killing thousands in the chase for power. Drug lords using innocent people to accomplish their dark ends, and discarding them like a rotting fruit if when they lose their purpose. Men killing women they can't have. Capitalism, consumerism, you name it. They're all cancers of society, and they're all the means to satisfy an obsession. Banality, sure, there are some leaders or serial killers whose evil is particularly grandiose in motivation and bombastic in execution, but it's the good people who don't say anything, or who are just following orders, that are responsible for the bulk of injustice. Be it a Nazi bureaucrat in WWI or someone who helps to hide a sexual harassment complaint in a workplace. It's banality that allows evil to flourish. Objectification. The worst evils we have ever perpetrated on one another have all revolved around treating people like things. I find it hard to name something I consider evil that doesn't boil down to this eventually. When you stop seeing other human beings as people, that's when you start committing acts of evil. They're not people. They're the enemy is a very common premise in war, for example. Many quote and say money. But that's not what the Bible says. It says the love of money, as someone else said, greed is result. I live on social security, and I am rich beyond measure in things money can't buy. So many people get rich and think that will satisfy, but ways they are wrong. I can think of many examples, but I need get off here and begin my day. Fucked up brain wiring that leads to psychopathic lack of emotion. If we were all hardwired to deeply care for each other, things would be different. But now some people get all the empathy, and some get none. The ones who get none are better at stepping on people to get to the top where they can truly perpetuate evil, which I would then define as greed. Not saying I agree to this. Mathematical proof: girls are evil. Girls require time and money. Girls' time times money. Time is money. Time, money. Therefore, two girls, money times money, money. Money is the root of all evil. Money square root evil. Therefore, two girls square root evil. And we are forced to conclude that girls evil. Honestly, having very high emotions whilst having very low intelligence, an incredibly dangerous combination, causes outbursts, irrational decisions which can impact your future and others. A simple bar fight can lead to an accidental death. A simple disagreement can end up in a shooting. A lot of things all link back to that IMO. Organized religion, all faiths, all beliefs, very patriarchal, and historically anything that wasn't the church was either outright banned or vilified. Wars were, and still are, being fought over religion. The true evil aspect is that man makes God whichever one in his own image to justify the heinous acts they commit in his name. After reading Joe Abercrombie's The First Law trilogy, incompetence, tism and shitty societal conditions bring about severe incompetence in managing economy and social structures, which brings us all of the shitty things we deal with besides having to exist and survive. Greed and violence are just symptoms of the above. I mean, anything generally traces back to greed. You either want someone's land or resources, or you want to rape, pillage, and destroy Village 23 just because. People ignore the needs of their fellow citizens in the quest for more money and power. The idea that money is more important than making the world a better place. Agriculture. Without this, there wouldn't be enough food to have permanent human settlement. No settlement means religion has a much harder time formalizing into doctrine. No religious doctrine means evil can't be defined. Therefore, there is no evil, only good events and bad events that happen without reason. The root of all evil is our basic instincts. Our biology tells us to survive and reproduce. And that instinct is also behind our push to innovation, to make life easier and more comfortable. We have been trying to tame this beast in each of us forever. We are domesticating ourselves. Consciousness. ability to make decisions and choose things without consciousness or sentience. There cannot be evil or even a judgment or interpretation of what is good or evil. There is only what is. Animals that operate on instinct cannot be evil because they don't operate by choice. Free will. We consider animals to not have free will, therefore everything they do is in their nature. Whether they hunt or kill, we do not consider them evil. It is in their nature. Humans, however, have free will. We are allowed to make the conscious effort to do evil or good. It's just classification, and it's all a construct. So, I'd say the root of evil is the notion that there is inherent good that is better than the evil. That gets humans every time. Convince them they're God's good children and they'll murder 1 million people in that conquest. Greed is nothing but intensified desire, while anger is nothing but frustrated desire. So the Bhagavad Gita labels lust or desire as the root of all evil. This also aligns well with the Buddha's teachings. It actually 5 things: lust, wrath, greed, attachment, and the ego. Religion. It divides us. It causes more hatred than love. Religion is an insult to human dignity. With or without it, you would have good people doing good things and evil people doing evil things. But for good people to do evil things, that takes religion. Evil resolves to an absence of goodness. Psychopaths are often found to have a damaged limbic system, that being the part of the brain responsible for feelings and empathy. https pubmed. So it seems St. Augustine got it right. Power. And I don't mean only like political type of power. I mean just being able to control other human beings and decide what happens to them. It can corrupt pretty much anyone into a sadistic animal, if the circumstances are aligned. Stupidity or ignorance it is. You can see the worst example in Bug Kingdom apparently. Human can be cruel as fuck, but not as crazy fuck as Bug for sure. And there is virus and bacteria which genocide other cell in trillions daily. All roots from the Old English were eel, which is then derived from the Proto-Germanic alnas. Evil roots from the Old English word efel Kentish evil, which is then derived from the Proto-Germanic ubelas. People. The answer is people. Murder, rape, theft, greed, subjugation, slavery, factory farming, bigotry, xenophobia. The list goes on and on and on, and even the average person is guilty of many of these things. We suck. Humans. We're the only ones who make the distinction between good and evil, and we can't even agree on the line between the two. Also, think of all the things people call evil. The large majority are directly man-made. White supremacy. It's what gave us racism, patriarchy, capitalism, colonial violence, hetero and cissexism, ecological destruction, and honestly I could keep going, but they all start to overlap at a certain point. It's hate. Doesn't even matter if you hate for a good reason, you will never do more evil as a feeling thinking. Human then when you hate. Maybe a psychopath can't do worse, but I wouldn't call it evil as much as horrifying. Humanity. Evil in a social construct which didn't exist until we decided what was evil and what was not, and the degree of the offense. So basically what I'm trying to say is being human go back to monkey. The natural scope of human tribalism, if it extended to all members of our species, we'd be fine. Instead, the scope is smaller, prompting us to develop affinity groups that compete against other tribes. Fear. Greed, fear of exhausting resources. Prejudice, fear of that which we cannot understand. Wrath, fear of being defied or bested. Indifference, fear of association. Ignorance, fear of new ideas. Religion, or more the supremacy some people feel their religion gives them over others. People basing their entire life ethos on my myth is better than your myth will be the end of the world. Narcissism. I truly believe that all evil can be traced back to this one trait, and that narcissists are the root of most of the terrible man-made things that have happened throughout history. Okay. But the Bible quote isn't money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. Money's fine, it's caring more about money than people, that's the problem. I'll die on this hill. Pack of love for grips mankind. Greed, if you loved others you would give all you can to help others. Bullying, you'd have compassion for others. I could go on. Life. Even animals can be evil. So you can't blame a human concept. Some evil is done out of anger or hate, but some is still done with good intentions. You can't boil it down to one thing: greed, power. But in the way of not thinking about other people. You can be greedy and should look out for yourself to a certain extent, but not at the detriment of other people. Trauma leading to insecure adults wanting power and objectifying other people, and then doing the same to their children. And I'm singing, will the circle be unbroken now? A lack of understanding and perspective. When people are able to put themselves in others' shoes is when they're able to develop empathy. I think hate blooms from ignorance. I've heard that pride is high up there. Basically not wanting to step down from your high horse because you think you deserve it and not wanting others to have the same. People often mistake money when the original quote is the love of money, or more specifically, obsession. No matter the valiant cause, it's our addictions that kill. Hunger. It permeates life. From the largest animal to the simple cell. It's through hunger all life is taught to want. From wanting we get coveting, jealousy, greed, poverty. It forces many of us to do the unthinkable. You learn pretty quickly that there are a lot of things you can live with provided that you live the belief that I'm separated from everyone else and everything else, and hence my actions, thoughts and words hold no consequences to anybody. Satan controlling the evangelical Christian church, and they think they're serving God and Jesus Christ. The biggest trick the devil ever pulled. The love of and seeking of power. You only need power if you're doing things that are against people's interest, otherwise love is all you need. I like this question. I'd say it's a lack of compassion and empathy. Without these, I think a person is able to commit all sorts of atrocities.